Hi, fans. I'm the PC expert, and this is episode 33 of the airflow and pressure differential comparison of 120 millimeter fans. And as always, I just need to remind you that I have this anemometer, and unfortunately, it doesn't have the degree of precision that I need. It only goes to 4 decimal places in the area setting. So that results in some imperfection in the readings, especially as the number gets larger. I calibrated this based on the Noctua A12x25, but when the numbers get big enough, there's distortion. Fortunately, it affects every fan equally, so the numbers may not be correct for actual airflow. However, they are accurate so that I can rank the fans. And don't forget, I use cubic meters per hour instead of cubic feet per minute because metric is better. And most measurements are in metric instead of imperial. Imperial is dead. Most countries in the world don't use imperial or only use it as a secondary system like in the UK. So, sorry, I'm trying to move us forward instead of keeping us in the Stone Age. Now, the fans that we're going to look at today are the Sama SF200, which is, from the fans that I've looked at from Sama, which are several, is the best one they've got. And I did ask them a couple of months ago, I said, do you have anything better than the SF200? And they said, no, they don't. The Thermalright TL-C12Pro, the Reeven Coldwing 12 Performance, the Black Noiseblocker Multiframe S Series M12-S3HS, and the Phanteks PH-F120MP. And please don't ask me why they used such a gigantic box. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to save money by getting boxes that were oversized. This is what it looks like. Just wanted to show you that. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put up on the screen the RPM measurements for these 5 fans. And what I'd like you to do is to look at that information, maybe look up some pictures and stuff of the fans, and make some guesses as to which will be the worst and the best for airflow and for pressure differential, and put that in the comments. Please don't change it. Keep it the way it was when you wrote it. Save that information. And because this is a learning experience, it's not a competition. There's no problem with people getting it wrong. It's hard to get the guesses right sometimes because of various reasons, including other factors such as the fan design, the frame design, the hub thickness or diameter, and so on and so forth. So that's why I ask you to look at the pictures of the fans. Pay attention to the thickness. Thickness has a definite impact. So let's go ahead and look at that information. And as you can see, the black noise is at the low end. There's only a 500 RPM spread on this group. So it's at 1920, tied with the Thermalright. The Reeven is 200 better at 2120. The Sama is actually better at 260 and more. And then the Phanteks is the best at only 40 more than the Sama. So that's why I said this is the best Sama fan. It is actually a pretty good fan. Now, of these fans, the Black Noise, the Reeven, the Phanteks are older fans. I'm not sure about the Thermalright, how old it is. I think it's newer, more along the lines of the age of the, gosh, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. But the Sama is very new. And I hope they will continue to improve their fans. One of the problems with this fan is it does use a hydro bearing, and hydro bearings tend not to be particularly good, which is why the MTBF of this fan is only 60,000 hours. So put your guesses down below, worst and best airflow, and also for pressure differential. Save your work, and then I'm going to show you the airflow results. All right. So the black noise, unsurprisingly, is the weakest. The Reeven, which was tied with the black noise, the Thermalright, is actually the strongest, beating out the Phanteks, then the Sama, and the Thermalright. So yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the numbers when I was doing this. I was just making sure that the numbers were correct, in the correct order, I mean. And so having the Reeven be the one that beats out the C12Pro, which is a good fan, and the Phanteks, they're all good fans. So yeah, kind of catches me by surprise a bit. What about you? Did you get that one right? Did you guess that the black noise would be the weakest? Well, let's look at the pressure differential now. And again, the black noise is worst, and then Phanteks, then Thermalright, then Sama, and the Reeven again is the best by 2 degrees. So there's not a huge spread here from 70 to 82. That puts all of these fans in the 3rd and 4th quartiles of the list, which is what we're going to look at next. And we're going to start with the RPMs. Let me scoot that over here and give you some more space to view things. The King one is an old fan, a weak fan, and that's why it's at the top of the list at only 780.3 RPMs, which is within the range of expected results, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weak, kind of sad. So if we look here, again, we can't see anything from the 5 in this group, and indeed not until here when we get to nearly the bottom of the list. So I think the black noise and Thermalright are clearly in the 3rd quartile, whereas the Reeven, Sama, and Phanteks look to be in the 4th quartile. So that's pretty interesting. However, do keep in mind that RPMs don't give us a strong indication of how a fan will perform. If they did, the list would have looked differently than it did. So let's go ahead and look at the pressure differential and see what that's like. And we can see here that the pressure differential, again, nothing in here that I have to sort it, but nothing in here that's going to be surprising for us. I just wanted you to see how I sort this. There. So the Lambtron Nova is the worst, followed by the U&M Life. The Kingwin is number 4. And as we go down, 1st quartile is empty, 2nd quartile is empty, and all 5 of them are in the 5th quartile this time. So like I said, so we have the black noise at 70. It's in with a small group of other not black noises, but 70-degree fans. The Phanteks at 72, and then all the other 3 look to be in the top 15, which is very interesting. I mean, I expected the Thermalright to be there, but yeah, this is very interesting. So now we'll look at airflow. And back to the Kingwin being on top with the airflow list arrangement. And just go ahead and take a look at the fans that are in the 1st quartile here, 2nd quartile. The black noise and the Phanteks look to be in the top of the 3rd quartile, I think. And the Sama, Thermalright, and Reeven are in the 4th quartile. All right, now let's slide it over so we can see the RPMs again. And you can take a look at all the data and see if maybe you can come up with some theories, especially if you were looking at the fan designs, as to why they are where they are. Now, keep in mind that airflow is important, especially for exhaust fans. If you have a fan with high airflow and low pressure, static pressure, not pressure differential, then that fan will be good for an exhaust fan, but not for an intake fan. If it's also got high static pressure, then it will be fine for either. If it's low in airflow but high in static pressure, then it's great for intake. So just keep that in mind. I'm just going to slowly scroll through this so you can see where these fans rank, especially if this is something that was reviewed along, weeks or whatever ago, and the list has changed a lot since then, especially since I've made some improvements to it as far as accuracy and whatever. Okay. So, how did you do? Did you see anything interesting, anything confusing? Share what you have learned, if anything, down below. Any questions, put those in the comments. I hope that this was useful if you're trying to find a good fan. So thanks for watching again today, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Have a great day.
I need to ask for your help. Things have been challenging. Whose life hasn't been challenging lately? So if you can please help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and turning on notifications, that would be really, really super. Also, if you'd like to help me financially and you can't afford to, you can do a super thanks on my Glenn's Fast Reviews channel, or you can become a member there. Or if you prefer, you can go to patreon.com/GLENNMII and become a member there instead. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Bleeping Computer for their support of my channel. If you need resources for computers, for getting rid of malware and learning about cybersecurity and stuff, Bleeping Computer, BLEEPING computer.com is a great resource. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.